Well, hey everyone, I'm Wagner James Alb, New World Notes, and I'm here in the world of Skittish. I guess we could call it an online virtual meeting space, but here with Andy, who seems to be a parrot. I'm Hamlet the pig avatar. That's Ham. And Andy Baio, of waxy.org fame and just general internet culture fame. So yeah, Andy, tell us all about Skittish.
Okay, well, yeah. So this is Skittish. It is a playful space for online events. I've been working on it over the last, I don't know, since about November, and yeah, I've been trying to make a space that allows for events that are very social by default. That allows you to come together with friends or in large groups. And it uses this metaphor of spatial proximity chat. So as you walk near each other. In fact, if you want to talk, you can hear it'll be further away.
I'm hearing you go around me as you go around me.
Yeah, it uses 3D audio, and it supports video embeds. It's all built in a 3D engine. Heavily inspired by Animal Crossing and other. But yeah, there's I'm happy to talk more about it. Yeah, I've been
cool.
Maybe for people who don't know, I co-organize an event called XOXO, a festival in Portland, Oregon that's been running since 2012. And what I love about that festival is it's just like a really great community of people. I'm really proud of the programming. I book all the programming, but it is so much about getting a group of like-minded people in a space and then giving them room to find one another, make those like serendipitous connections that lead to new friendships, new collaborations. And I just wasn't seeing virtual spaces that allowed that in the way that I would want to do it.
Right. And so the hope is you can have something like this for that serendipity to emerge.
Yeah, the back end now is using High Fidelity, which was started by Second Life's Philip Rosedale. Currently supports up to 120 concurrent users per room, and it mixes all of their audio into like a spatial collage based on your position and where you are proximate to everyone else. And I really love it. I mean, it is proven to be, like, in groups, really fun to explore the space, to find clusters of conversation, and also it's audio by default. A lot of new video projects are kind of borrow from the Zoom model. It's camera on by default, and I feel like camera on is asking a lot of people. I think we have a little bit of Zoom fatigue going on, and I just think it's one thing when it's friends, but if it's someone you haven't met before, I think audio makes it a lot more comfortable for people.
Oh, totally. Well, and then you got these adorable avatars that are kind of Animal Crossing like, so immediately breaks the ice.
And so I can pull that up. There are a lot of different animals to choose from. There's 75 or so. So I'll be a pigeon. Editing is inline in the space. So if you want to click, I think you're saying this for the first time. If you click that paintbrush, the paintbrush icon, it'll open a panel of assets, which I've just been adding to. We'll organize this more at some point. But like you could click on tree, for example, or palm tree, or whatever you want, and you'll be placing objects in the space. You can go ahead and do that. It happens.
I'm not seeing the paintbrush.
Oh, that's right. I disabled it as a permission. Normally, it's for creators, the event creator only. Right. But you can open it up to your audience if you want to do like.
Oh, there you go. Okay, I got my paintbrush. So I want to select. I can just select tree. Oh, and I'm putting a tree in.
Yep.
Oh, and this is super intuitive. I mean, I don't know if the viewers can see my display, but it gives me a nice bunch of options of different objects. Palm tree. I'll add some palm trees. Oh, rowboat. Put that in the pond, of course. Pirate ship. Definitely want a pirate ship.
Rocks. I should mention that these have these have collision too, so you know
Oh, no way.
they have collision's turned off. Like it's optional, so like you can
Oh, okay.
pop into the boat over here, but like this, you know, like the fountain and everything else. You can define the collision box. And then removing is as simple as just highlighting and, you know, deleting, like so.
Oh, I noticed there's a create asset option here, so
yeah, you can import objects.
Mesh files.
In GLTF or GLB format. Yeah.
Okay.
And obviously, you want to be careful about that. Like, you don't want to be importing huge poly, high texture, you know, object. Like, you really want to.
Right.
This is a web-based experience. You want to make it accessible to people. But you saw like that pirate ship is like a, you know, it's good for simple models, you know.
Yeah.
I can show you.
Do you envision adding some kind of prim-based creation?
I don't think
Minecraft Second Life.
I don't think. I don't think so.
No.
I think probably what might be fun is doing some sort of like integration with Sketchfab or something like that to allow people to search.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Search and import objects. This is getting a little overwhelming here. We have like we have a whole battalion now.
It's a fleet.
Come over to the theater. I'll show you something else.
Cool. How large is this space, by the way, and how large can spaces be?
I mean, what are measurements in here? It's pretty big. And even when you hit the boundary, it just changes color. You can keep going. I think we'll probably tune that, you know, at some point. But I wasn't sure whether people would want to create one large, you know, map or you can partition among multiple rooms. I think it probably, you know, I was just trying to be flexible at this point, so I'm not entirely sure.
It's interesting that you could have a single contiguous world. I mean, that's the original Second Life vision. Is it would allow for serendipity because you could actually just walk and explore various areas that would be different in theme and different communities hanging out.
Yeah, although I think it's probably worth pointing out, I really have no intention of building a persistent virtual world with this. This is intended for events. An event can be really broad. It's basically any group of people that with a start and an end. And so I've had a lot of interest for conference and festival organizers, obviously, but also independent creators, you know, artists that want to bring their communities together, you know, maybe like for their Patreon community, or maybe you're like a musician and you want to bring someone in, like you want to bring your community together for a listening party or a concert. You're an author that wants to do a Q&A event or a book reading, live podcasts, games, and there's a lot of different possibilities. But
and the real quick, the music we're hearing is coming through that YouTube stream of the anime on the screen, right? Yeah,
so that's the like lo-fi hip hop channel. As I get closer to it, it gets louder. But that's just a YouTube live stream. You can pause it, and it's synchronized among everybody. If I change the video, then it'll change for everyone in the space.
Oh, nice.
And it supports YouTube, Twitch, SoundCloud, Vimeo, Facebook Video, a bunch of others. Yeah, great way to do embedded live streams. It's basically just like a video embed on the web, but kind of just imagine like a hole poked in this 3D environment with the iframe, you know, placed inside of it and then transformed with CSS 3D transforms. It's pretty cool little hack, but it does. There is some collision on it. There's a plane behind it so that you can't walk through. You can walk behind it, which is fun.
Cool.
Do you want to check out the theater? I can show you what other rooms look like.
Sure.
So you just walk onto. You can make as many rooms as you want, and these portals between.
Oh,
them.
nice. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. That was instantaneous.
That's it, and then you're in here. So I just set it up as like a rough approximation of a theater. I made a little like pirate area over here too, just as when I was playing around. But yeah, actually I wanted to show you this first. So that do you see that like a highlighted area on the ground, that circle up by the screen?
Yes.
So that is a stage. This is a brand new feature. The idea
Oh,
is
okay.
and you can have as many of these as you want, but basically anybody standing on the stage or standing inside that circle, their voice is projected to everyone in the space. So if you want to go ahead and
Okay.
walk up
Yeah.
to it, um, I won't be able to hear you until you walk. Now I'll be able to
Oh,
hear you.
now you can hear me, and even though you're like 100 feet
Exactly.
away or whatever it is.
Exactly. No matter how far away, you can't hear me right now, but anybody that's listening
Right.
to this will be able to tell.
That's
Yeah.
really good.
And so
Okay, so
we can both go in here, and we're both audible to everybody in the space. So it allows you to do
we're addressing
very like ad hoc
the
presentations, and if
right.
you wanted to do like you want to do a Q&A, or like, but in between showing stuff, or just have people come up and you could practically do an open mic that way.
Right. And speaking of performances, so you could also have musicians and so on using this. And you were talking about earlier a monetization system, so you could actually perform for tips or whatever. So you could talk a bit about that.
Yeah, well, this project was funded by a grant from a consortium called Grant for the Web, which is a consortium of Mozilla, Creative Commons, and it's led by a startup called Coil that's been trying to advance this open standard for web monetization on the web, an API where you can stream payments to people. And this supports, Skittish supports it by default. So basically, when you create an event, you can supply what's called a payment pointer, which points to your wallet effectively. And so as people use, if they're using Coil or a similar service, then they are streaming payments to you, to the event creator, while in very small increments as part of the subscription service. But if that doesn't work, I'm also planning on supporting traditional tickets and so on for payments.
Okay.
So I really want independent creators to be able to use this to bring their communities in, whether it's for a free event or something that they charge tickets for.
Okay. When you deploy a world or an event, would you have to go through skittish.com, or you can like embed it or host it on your own site, or how would that work?
It's through skittish.com at the moment. I may end up doing some white labeling or like branding down the road, but for now it'll be on Skittish.
Okay, makes sense. And imagine you could have, once it gets going, you can have a bunch of things happening at the same time, and people can decide which world they want to jump into.
I don't really think it's going to be used the same way that something like VR Chat or Rec Room is used. Like I said, I'm not really trying to build a persistent virtual space. The idea is that this is for people to create their events for their own communities, and so that would probably it doesn't mean that, like, I really don't think I'll ever end up having like a public directory of open to the public events.
Okay.
Yeah, if that makes sense.
And the responsiveness of the graphics, it's just really fun, and it does kind of beg to have some game functionality. I was wondering if you thought of adding some stuff.
It really does. Yeah, I mean, I would love to do that. It's something that is like really that I adore. I love the indie game community, and have, if anybody's read my site waxy.org for any length of time, you'll know that I care very much about all of the creativity of that community, and interact, and plus like interactive fiction and immersive storytelling and interactive theater, all of that. I would love for this to be able to evolve into something that could support those types of events, immersive theater, certainly escape room sort of things, interactive, social games. For now we're working on the core functionality to be able to do social events and things with videos and talks and so on, which is a pretty huge chunk of the events world. But yeah, I really love the kind of immersive events world, and I think I think it's well within reach to be able to build some tools to enable, artists and immersive design people to be able to craft some events in that within Skittish.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that. Well, this has been really great. Are there any other features upcoming that you want to talk about, or?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple. Right now it's pretty spare, but I'm planning on adding text chat. So this is audio by default. I think it's a really sensible default. But if you want to do text, or you don't want to do audio for some reason, you should be able to do that. If you want to go like a kind of higher level of fidelity, I want to be able to support small group video chat. So you could sort of think about like creating a little bubble that you when you walk into, your camera's enabled, but entirely an optional experience. I know that some people really do want to see each other, but I think it's important to like I said before, I think audio is I think audio doesn't ask as much of people. It's like it feels a lot more casual and playful, and it allows for when there's big groups for you to be able to kind of wander into conversations without having to like worry about that jump of having people see who you are, or having video feeds pop in and out too. I think I'm really just like firm on letting people engage at the level that they're comfortable with. If you're you want to just come in, let's say you don't even want to be social, you just want to come in, experience whatever programming is happening, explore the space, you should be able to do that. Maybe by allowing that sort of more passive lurking kind of experience, people will get comfortable and hear a conversation that they want to, or they see someone that they know, and then then they engage. But I think that those assumptions that platforms make are really critical. They shape what the entire thing feels like, and it determines who's comfortable in that space. And I really want to make this as inclusive as possible.
That's really great. This seems to sit kind of in between more 3D immersive media event spaces, and then kind of more the mobile based, like the big one, the Clubhouse. But that's seems because they've launched with an idea of integrated with the Silicon Valley community. It's much more kind of people speaking from the microphone, sort of demonstrate their expertise, or less kind of serendipity and fun. This is my perspective, having used it a little bit.
Yeah, I've spent a little time in it. It's interesting. For me, it was like it affirmed the decision to go audio only, showing that like there is demand. There is demand for that. I do think that there's value in allowing for really ad hoc, organic conversations to appear, and in Clubhouse you can really only be in one conversation. Like someone starts the event, you go, and then you can decide to leave, but you can't. If you see a friend in there, you can't step aside with them and say hi. There's literally no way to message anybody from within Clubhouse. You can choose to open a private room with them, but then you're effectively you're leaving the event entirely at that point.
Yeah, that doesn't feel as immersive. Well, this is really cool. How do people jump in as soon as possible?
Well, right now we're in private beta. We're kind of building out some of the core features that are required to be able to do public events. Extending our moderation tools and making it just like some core functionality. And so doing that through April, we expected to do our first paid events in May, and then we're going to be sending out invites to our announcement list at that point. So if you're interested, you could sign up at skittish.com and get on the list. And I hope to see you soon.
Very good. Yeah, we'll be looking forward to seeing the live events. And thank you very much for your time.
Absolutely.
Skittish.com. Register your name. It's a lot of fun. You can be a pig or a pigeon or whatever you want.